Coming up in the program, kitten season is upon us. Cruising on the Waikato River, New Zealand's biggest killer, one of us dies from it every 90 minutes. And get on your bike, go for Bike Day. Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Monday the 9th of February. I'm Hilary Entwistle. A tonne of sand and 500 kilos of water and 5 painstaking hours is all it took Mount Mauganui's Brett Muir to create an award-winning sandcastle. Brett's 2-metre-high castle, named Fantasy, won first place in the adult individual competition in his maiden appearance. Held on New Brighton Beach, Christchurch, the 4th annual New Zealand Sandcastle competition, run by the Pegasus Bay Charitable Trust, saw around 20,000 people turn out to see the intricate sand work as professional and amateur sand carvers competed to win trophies and prizes. Hamilton City councillors have decided to keep rates increases at 3.8% each year for the next 10 years. The focus of the new budget continues to be infrastructure, with a focus in maintaining existing essential city infrastructure and investing in new infrastructure to support the city's growth. There is a strong focus on water, wastewater and stormwater. Mayor Julie Hardacre says the council's existing financial strategy, developed 3 years ago, has been revised to respond to the changing operating environment and to enable the city to keep pace with population growth. The council will continue its strong focus on prudent financial management. The Tauranga Yacht and Powerboat Club is hosting the 59th Zephyr Class National Championships this week, with a fleet of 50 contestants from throughout the country on their way to town. Competitors will gather at the South Point venue tomorrow for measuring and enjoy an invitation event on Tuesday before New Zealand's longest established one design yacht class contest begins on Wednesday. Co-organiser Jeff Collins says a local contingent of 10 Zephyr sailors hope to capitalise on some home advantage. More than $267 million is likely to be spent on Waipa's roads and footpaths over the next 10 years. Of that, $81 million will come from government subsidies, with more than $8 million projected to come from property developers. Waipa District Council is proposing to spend around $973 million, including all capital works and operating expenses, from 2015 to 2025. Of that, more than $200 million in capital expenditure has been set aside for water infrastructure. That's water, wastewater and stormwater, and $47 million in capital expenditure for community services and facilities. Much of the work tentatively scheduled for the coming decade will involve upgrades to roads and intersections in and around Cambridge, following the opening of the Cambridge section of the Waikato Expressway in 2016. The expressway is expected to mean less traffic going through Cambridge. Now for our region's weather, Hamilton becoming fine with those southeasterlies developing 26 and 11. The rest of the Waikato, isolated early morning showers, then becoming fine, with southwesterlies tending to a southeast during the morning. Paeroa 26 and 12, Matamata 23 and 11, Te Awamutu 26 and 10, and Tokoroa 22 and 9. Tauranga, you will have a few morning showers, then becoming fine, with a southeasterly developing. 25 and 13 for you. The rest of the bay, a few morning showers, then becoming fine, with the southeasterly developing in the morning too. Te Puke 23 and 12. Now for the marine forecast, West Coast, Raglan. Tuesday morning is southeast of 25 knots with rough seas. High tide is at 2:53 in the afternoon. East Coast, Bay of Plenty, westerly 15 knots, becoming southeast of 15 knots. But 20 knots in the east in the morning, becoming a southeast 20 knots everywhere else midday. Then easing to a 15 knots in the evening. High tide is 12:23. Still to come in the program, it's Heart Week, but coming up next, there's some kittens who need a home. Welcome back to Central News on TV Central. Well, it is kitten season, which means there is an influx of unwanted litters of kittens to animal shelters, such as Paws for Life in Hamilton.
Absolutely run off our feet. So we have kittens coming in all day long, we have kittens going out all day long, we have vet runs trying to meet their needs. So this is our really, really busy time of the year.
How many kittens do you expect to rehouse this season?
For us, given that we're really, really small and we rely on fosterers, it will be in excess of 500. And on top of the kittens, you've also got their mothers as well, who are generally kittens themselves.
And where do you get them from?
The animals come from everybody. So you might have a cat and kittens under your deck, so it's not possible to add another 5 kittens to your household. So we take them and we want them because that way we can get them checked and de-sexed and vaccinated before they go out.
Your kittens fund further treatment for other animals that might need help. How much do you sell your kittens for?
So all our kittens and cats are $120 to adopt, and that includes their vet check, their de-sexing, their first vaccination, their flea, their worming, and we also cover their health for 10 days after they go home, just because animals are animals and they get sick, and we don't want to have you adopt a kitten and then a couple of days later end up at the vet with a vet bill, so we cover that as well.
If someone's thinking about getting a kitten for their family, what are some things they actually need to think about?
So it's a big commitment. I tell people it could be a 20-year commitment. So if you're flatting, you can't predict the future. So you need to be stable, or if life happens, you need to have a backup plan for where your kitten or cat can go. You need to be able to afford the unexpected. So if they got sick or they had an injury and they needed to see a vet, you would need to take that into consideration. Also your other animals, if you've got other animals at home, are they going to accept another animal coming in? So there's lots of considerations to make sure that you can provide that one forever home and not rehome that animal later on, or they find themselves homeless.
It's not just a one-off cost to buy the kitten either, is it?
No, so you have daily maintenance with your animals, so you want good food, the best that you can afford. There's regular flea and worming treatments. Ideally, each animal should have an annual vet check at the vets. That way you can prevent things and catch things early, so it doesn't cost in the long run. And it's, if you go away, what are you going to do? Do you have someone that can look after it, or can you fit into a boarding category?
How is Paws for Life funded?
So Paws for Life is 100% donations. We get no funding from anywhere else other than the public. So all money that comes in is spent on the animals, and we pay it forward to animals and then we adopt them out. So it's just recycling basically.
You have a lot of support from a team of fosterers, don't you? Tell me about that.
Our fosterers are amazing. They open up their homes to our animals. They make them part of the family. So by the time the animals come back, they're really well adjusted. They're used to the household noises, they're used to other animals, be it other cats or dogs. They could be used to children. They're used to being cared for basically. So when they go to a home, they're more able to settle in quicker.
What types of animals does Paws for Life help?
So generally it's cats and kittens, not because I'm a crazy cat lady, it's because there is such a need for cats and kittens to go somewhere. Dogs and puppies as well, so we work closely with all the councils. And lots of hedgehogs are found they're sick, so we pass them on to hedgehog rescue. So if we can't take that animal or don't have the facilities to help that animal, we will then find somewhere for that animal to go.
To find out more or how you can adopt a new kitten, visit their Facebook page or their website, pawsforlife.co.nz. In our next story, New Zealand statistics around heart disease are scary. It is our biggest killer, and every 90 minutes, one of us dies from heart disease. This week is Heart Week, the New Zealand Heart Foundation's annual appeal.
Well, we're really urging people to support the Heart Foundation by donating to us during Heart Week. We've got hundreds of volunteers taking to the streets over that Valentine's weekend, asking for donations from the general public. We've got businesses behind us as well, and we're really out there to stop New Zealand's #1 killer, and that's heart disease.
Wear their heart on their sleeve. Tell me about that.
Well, when people donate to us during Heart Week, they'll get given either a felt heart or a sticker, and they can wear that to show their support for the Heart Foundation. I think the term comes from the Middle Ages, when knights would wear their loved ones' ribbons on their sleeve going into jousting.
So what are the numbers? I mean, how many New Zealanders are affected by the disease?
Well, heart disease, as I said, is New Zealand's #1 killer disease. Every 90 minutes, someone in New Zealand dies from heart disease. Also, there's 165,000 people living with heart disease every day and suffering from it.
When you say living with heart disease, what do you mean by that?
Well, a lot of people have a heart event, they have a heart attack, and they survive that, but we like to support them to keep their quality of life and stop them from having a secondary event.
During Heart Week, the foundation asks for donations. What does that money go towards?
So the money raised will help us continue funding research, programs in the community for heart healthy living, and programs all around the country in early childhood centres and schools.
What are some of those early childhood programs?
Well, we have health promotion coordinators that work with school principals and school canteen staff and teachers to support them to provide programs and policies around healthy eating and physical activities.
So some advice is to get a heart warrant of fitness. What does that mean?
So to get a heart check doesn't take long. You pop into your family doctor or nurse, and they'll check things like your risk factors, whether you smoke, how much exercise you do, what's your diet like. They'll check your blood pressure, your weight, your height, and they'll be able to work out whether you're likely to have a heart attack in the next 5 years. So we urge people to go and get a heart check. That's step #1, and see their risk factors, and the doctor and nurse can help them to have work out a healthy lifestyle for them.
If the doctor says, that the next 5 years we're looking at possibly having a heart event, is there anything we can do to change that?
There absolutely is, yes. The #1 obviously is, if you're a smoker, quitting smoking is the single most best thing you can do. Then it's looking at your lifestyle, making healthy eating choices, eating lots more fruit and vegetables every day, and trying to incorporate physical activity into your daily life. So if you work in an office, perhaps you stretch your legs around the block a couple of times, get up from your desk, walk around, and try and do at least 30 minutes physical activity every day.
Everybody dies. I just help them get there faster.
So how do you choose your victims?
I don't really care who. Young, old, fat, thin, it's all the same to me. They don't always see it coming.
Will you kill again?
Well, what are you going to do to stop me?
Help us fight heart disease. Please donate by calling 0800 830 100.
Keep an eye out for volunteers this week for the annual appeal. Coming up after the break, it's Go By Bike Day soon. Are you up for the challenge? Welcome back to Central News on TV Central. Waikato River has a new plan from the Hamilton City Council, and Marie spoke with Waikato River Explorer to find out how the plan will affect them.
Can't wait, bring it on. Every idea that they've come up with is, in my opinion, a winner. And Hamilton is at the crossroads. We're about to be bypassed. We have to become a destination. We can't rely on people coming through and grabbing a cup of tea anymore. Hamilton Gardens is a proven destination, and we need to develop other attractions in Hamilton, and what better than this amazing river. We're the biggest city in the country inland, and we've got this amazing river flowing through it, so let's get in amongst it. And we need infrastructure on the river. We can only do so much. We decided when we set up our business, we knew we had to build our own. Otherwise, we'd be waiting for a number of years. So we've done that, but we've gone as far as we can go. So it's up to the council now. They're showing incredible goodwill and intentions. And you're going to see an amazing amount of river activity over the next couple of years as a result.
Last year at the field days, there were horrendous traffic jams. People stuck in traffic for about 5 hours, but on the river it was plain sailing for those people who thought to catch the Waikato River Explorer to the field days. Are you going to be doing that again this year?
Yes, indeed. We figured out a way of squeezing in 4 cruises a day, and we're starting those in the early hours of the morning. So first cruise, I think from memory, I've just sorted the schedule out a couple of days ago, so it's not really fresh. It's about 6:30 in the morning, so exhibitors will go up at 6:30 in the morning, and then every hour and 3/4 after that from Hamilton Gardens, nice hour-long run, waterfalls, native bush, have a coffee, read the paper, fantastic, and then a beer on the way home, or other chilled beverage on the way home. Yes.
Now, will people need to book for the field days?
Definitely.
And that's all online?
Yes, already set up.
Now, the Waikato River, it holds a special place in many hearts, and it's sacred to iwi. It's beautiful to look at. It's dangerous to swim in, but you live and breathe and get your livelihood from the Waikato River. What does it mean to you?
It is a very, it's still an untapped resource as far as, speaking from a business point of view, still an untapped resource. And we're only just beginning to unlock its potential. In saying that though, you can't just turn up and have a boat. You need other things to fall into place, and you need to do your homework. As I say, it's a special place, it's a beautiful river, one that must be respected. And it's constantly changing. And it can be docile like it is today, and they can decide to produce some power at Karapiro, and all of a sudden she's on. She's raging. Then you've got a massive high tide that you have, which changes the complexion of the river totally. And of course you're higher, you see some amazing sights. People have some very amazing backyards. You find little nooks and crannies, like little caves with waterfalls in them, which you can only see if you come on the river. And as I say, it sounds a little bit cheesy, but we delight in seeing the smiles on people's faces. And we had a group on for a conference. They were heading off to a conference, and they decided to come on for a little morning tea, G-up cruise before their conference. And they said it was the worst decision they could have ever made, because they were all asleep by the time they got to their conference, which is it's just such a relaxing experience, and that's why we enjoy it so much.
For more information, go to waikatoexplorer.co.nz. And our last story for tonight, Wednesday the 11th of February is Go By Bike Day. Are you up for the challenge this year?
So this year we've got 7 pit stops happening all around Tauranga, Papamoa, Mount Maunganui and Otomotai, where people can stop off, register and go on the draw to win one of 4 $100 ride bike vouchers and pick up some spot prizes.
Go By Bike Day is a national event, so what's the idea behind it?
Well, basically we just want people to sort of leave the car at home or don't take the bus to school that day and jump on their bikes and ride to work or school. It's surprising how fun and easy it is, but it's just a matter of getting out there and doing it. So this is a great reason to give it a go.
What about having to get up that much earlier?
Well, actually it's not too much earlier. I cycle myself and it takes me 12 minutes in the car and it takes me 20 minutes on my bike. And if I actually go in rush hour, it's actually quicker on my bike. So in a lot of cases, if you do drive to work during that rush hour period, you're going to find it's actually quicker on your bike. Plus you're getting some activity at the same time, so double bonus.
What about if we, get to work all sweaty and gross?
Well, most workplaces do have sort of showers that you can use, but you do find actually if you go in the morning it is a bit cooler, so you don't actually get that sweaty. It's not as bad as you think. So you've got to give it a go to at least know.
When one does go by bike to work, do you think they get a pretty good workout?
Yeah, well, I think the good thing about cycling, it's a great cardiovascular activity, so good for your health, and you get lots of other benefits at the same time.
Aside from the fitness, what are the other benefits?
Well, I guess the good thing about cycling is that it can save you petrol, especially if you cycle to work every day. So that's a good thing. It's clean and green, so no carbon emissions to worry about and all that sort of thing. So it's a fairly sort of environmentally friendly way to get around. And I guess the other good thing is that you can commute to work plus you're getting fit at the same time. So, you know, you don't then have to go for a walk or a run to fit in your physical activity for the day. You've already done it by cycling to and from work. So it's great.
Do you think it could also be a little bit less stressful than sitting in traffic?
Oh, absolutely. How much time do we waste sitting in traffic? Especially at the moment, I've got a lot of work colleagues coming in from Papamoa with the change of roads out there, and one of them on Monday spent an hour and a quarter, left at 7 a.m, got here at 8:15. So I said to him, he should have just, you know, done a Yui, jumped on his bike, and he would have been here a heck of a lot quicker. So it's very stress-free and it's free, and it's actually a really good way to sort of de-stress at the end of the day, getting some physical activity on, time to unwind, and before you know it, you're at home.
Do you think Tauranga is well equipped for cyclists?
Yeah, I believe it is. We're actually really lucky here in Tauranga that we've got over 60 kilometres of sort of off-road urban mountain bike or trail sort of routes. So that means you can get off the road, so there's none of that sort of danger around traffic and that sort of thing. Plus they're really scenic and really safe. So I think we are. It's just a matter of knowing where they are. So during Bike Month we actually have weekly Wednesday and Sunday rides where you can learn all these different cycle routes around Tauranga. So people should get onto our website, check out where they are, and come along and learn where these rides are happening.
So we've actually got quite a lot of off-road kind of mountain biking trails?
Yeah, so there's heaps of, and probably mountain biking might put some people off, sound a bit scary, but they're just really good off-road trails that you can, any sort of rail trail bike or mountain bike would be suitable to use. Most of them are fairly flat, and they basically link up all the parks and reserves around Tauranga. So it's a great way to see Tauranga on your bike, great way to get fit, and a great way to get to work without battling all the traffic.
How can we be safe when we're actually cycling on the road?
Well, I guess the big thing is be bright and be seen. So, you know, wearing fluoro vests or fluoro tops, making sure that you've maybe got a backpack cover that's bright yellow if you're wearing a bag to work. Having lights is a really good idea, a white one for the front and a red one at the back, reflectors, and of course wearing your helmet is the ultimate thing to do.
Sports Bay Plenty has lots of activities for their Bike Month. Have a look at their website for more information. I have to drive over the Kaimai Range to work, so I won't bike to work, but I promise I will go for a bike ride on Wednesday. That is the program for today. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can via our Facebook page, centralnews.tv, or email us, news@tvcentral.co.nz. On tomorrow night's program, we look at the art policy in Tauranga, causing a bit of argument. Until then, I'm Hilary Entwistle. I hope you have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.